What's up, peoples? It's Moon616 coming at you with another installment in my top 25 personal groups of all time. In at number 22, you can hear him in the background. Duo represent New York, made up of Drez and Mr. Long, the infamous Black Sheep. This album right here is definitely one of my most favorite albums of all time. A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing is like just phenomenal top to bottom. Such a creative record. It's laid back. It's got super hilarious rhymes on it, creative rhymes. It's a long album too. 22 tracks running about 72 minutes or something like that. But you know, it's got, you know, the classic cuts. You know, everyone's heard The Choice Is Yours. Favorite tracks on the album: Strobe Light Honey. This song playing in the background. You mean I'm not? Past the 40 with Chiali is just fantastic. This album right here, I remember picking up the tape back in the day, and I think I played this album for like a month straight. Like, I played it to death. I actually wrecked my tape. I played it so much. So then obviously had to invest in the CD. And yeah, you know, Black Sheep, classic record. I would say this is a bona fide classic. It's definitely a personal classic, but it's too bad that Mr. Long, I don't really actually even know what happened to Mr. Long, to be honest. He was there for the second record and then split, and then Drez continued to use the Black Sheep name later on a couple releases. I'll get into that in a minute here, but just this album's full of classic tracks, man, like Simlac Child, Try Counting Sheep. I don't know, have you any pull? Sorry. Anyways, Black Sheep, awesome stuff right here. Could not say enough good things about it. In for their sophomore record, Nonfiction. This album right here definitely doesn't get a lot of recognition as being a dope record. For some reason, the content of this album, the sound-wise, everything was totally different than the first record. It was like a completely different album. When I first picked this up back in the day, I was not impressed with it. I really liked, Without a Doubt. There was a video for the track. I've never seen it on Rhapsody back in the day. Absolutely loved that track. Heard the album and I was not impressed with it. It took a couple years for me to get into this record, and now I just love this album. It's so good. Effect is so sick, man. You know, North, South, East, West, like autobiography. This album is just full of bangers. It's such an underrated album. Probably one of the most underrated albums ever, in my opinion. I would actually go and say that. But if you haven't heard this record or this one, definitely peep these out. These are phenomenal records. This is obviously a little better, but I'm not gonna, you know, I don't really like comparing, you know, albums that much, but it is what it is, and it's actually a really good record. Then on to, you know, the first release that Drez did without Mr. Long, using the Black Sheep name, was, this is actually 2 EPs in one here, the AWM and Novocaine's, you know, combined into one. The song Sunshine on here is fantastic. Like I said, I don't know what happened to Mr. Long in between. Like, this album came out in 2007. This was in, I think, 94. Yeah. So this is like 13 years later. He did have a couple solo albums, I believe, in between, just using the Drez name. But this album right here, it was actually pretty good. I should say double EP. Not really technically an album, but yeah, it's right. Showbiz from GITC actually produced Sunshine, which is the best track on this album, hands down. It's actually pretty good. I'm a really big fan of Drez. I think his voice is tantalizing to me. His delivery, everything, content. I've always been a really big fan of Drez, so this is worth picking up for sure. And then on to From the Black Pool of Genius, and I'll leave a link down below, but big supporter of these videos, The Underground Vault. He's consider him a good friend on here. Check out the shirt. Ugly Duckling, he was just talking about him the other day. He said this is actually one of his favorite albums of all time, and you know, this album right here blew my socks off when I first heard it. I seriously listen to this album all the time still. I was just baffled on how good it was. Like, you know, this album right here, the double EP was decent enough, you know. And then this album came out, and I was speechless, man. It's such a good record. Birds of a Feather with Q-Tip and De La Soul on there. Man, fuck, every time I hear that song, it just makes me, I get goosebumps, man. But I love this album so much. It's such a great record. You know, Reason to Pray, Elevation, you know, Party Saying. Everything on this record is just fucking awesome. Such a good record. Definitely. I do hear people talk about it, but not as much anymore. I mean, it's been a couple years since it's been out, so. But I definitely recommend getting this record. I believe, I think what happened with this, there wasn't going to be a physical release of this, and then I think people demanded that there was, so they actually pressed up a bunch. I remember buying this straight from a website. It was the only thing on the website, but got it for real cheap. I'm not sure exactly what it goes for now, but yeah, I definitely recommend this. Modern day classic in my opinion. But yeah, so from the Black Pool of Genius, awesome stuff from Drez. I'll just show this because, you know, it's a solo record and not a lot of people ever talk about this. Case is in rough shape, but here's a Drez solo record, Sure Shot Redemption. It's not the best thing in the world. I don't even know when this album came out, to be honest. It doesn't have the year on it. I picked this up years ago. I honestly don't remember. It's not, beat-wise, not the best thing in the world, but, you know, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Drez. I love his voice to this day. His voice has never changed. He's actually formed a new group called Evitan with Jarobi from Tribe Called Quest. I was having a brain aneurysm again. So be on the lookout for that new project that's coming out. I am super stoked because me, you know, Tribe Called Quest is like, you know, that's my life right there. And Drez. So that should be an interesting project. I've heard a couple tracks off it, which I did really like. Once again, it's Evitan. It's native backwards, you know, of course, from the old native tongue thing, you know. Which, you know, just, I hope it's going to be phenomenal. I think the production's going to be awesome. But number 22, you know, Black Sheep. I recommend all these albums. Big fan of Drez, you know. So once again, give a big shout out to the Underground Vault for supporting. Yeah, anyways, number 22, Black Sheep, represents Mood 616. Thanks for subscribing, watching. Peace.